Today in our final touch, a long-imagined idea for a pizza vending machine has found a foothold on a busy street in Toronto.
The ingredients are made by hand before they are loaded in the refrigerated section of the machine. A robotic arm then takes the pizza from the fridge section and puts it into the oven section, which cooks it in 110 seconds. It puts it back into the box and it slides on out. Customers are giving the vending pizza rave. The best part is that you can get a fresh hot pizza 24 hours a day. Sign me up. Let's go to Toronto.
Brilliant. Thanks for your help today, Charlotte. And thanks for watching, everybody. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
Right now at 5, Governor Walker on the short list for a Trump cabinet position. We'll tell you whether local environmental experts say he'd be a good fit for the job.
A man who shot is sentenced to prison to Cornelius Britton.
And a Columbia County library is closed until further notice. We will explain why.
This is News 3 at 5.
Thanks for staying with News 3. President Trump plans to name a new U.S. Department of Interior Secretary next week.
Outgoing Governor Scott Walker is on the short list, but what is his record on conservation issues? Rose Schmidt asked state environmental experts to weigh in. Rose?
Well, Governor Walker is one of more than half a dozen candidates being considered for this cabinet position. And two former heads of the state's Department of Natural Resources told me today there are a lot of parallels between conservation issues at the state and federal levels. Time and time again, Governor Scott Walker has said he plans to stay in Wisconsin when he's out of a job. But now that Department of Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke is on his way out, will Walker step in?
I was surprised because he said he didn't want to go to Washington.
Walker tweeted from the White House this week, but his office would only say that he was there for a reception, not commenting on whether he's being considered for a cabinet position. But we wanted to know about Walker's record on conservation issues.
I thought it would be an unusual pick because traditionally Secretary of Interior appointments are all Westerners.
We asked Scott Hassett, who headed the state's Department of Natural Resources from 2003 to 2007. He was appointed by Democratic Governor Jim Doyle, but he's followed the current administration very closely.
Our Department of Natural Resources used to be recognized nationally as one of the top in the country, and I think it's certainly been degraded in the last 8 years.
Hassett and conservation groups say Walker has turned the focus away from science, but groups that support him, like the Wisconsin Realtors Association and the Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce, would say he's turned the agency toward a more business-friendly approach. Walker has tried to cut state money from state parks and make them completely self-sufficient. If appointed to President Trump's cabinet, it's something he would have control over at the national level as well.
There are a lot of overlapping issues. We have a lot of public lands in Wisconsin.
Another former DNR Secretary, George Meyer, told me today that he has great concerns about Walker being named to this position. Meyer was appointed by Republican Governor Jim Doyle. And I also reached out to a number of Republican conservation groups, but they declined to comment on this story.
All right, Rose Schmidt, thank you.
A Madison man who shot at a police officer in 2016 is being sentenced. Cornelius Britton was sentenced to 22 years in prison, 8 years extended supervision. Police say Britton was firing multiple rounds while hiding behind the corner of an apartment building in the 5800 block of Russet Road. This was October of 2016. He was taken into custody after a foot chase on Raymond Road. They recovered a handgun.
Again, I apologize to the officer. She was never being intentionally targeted. It was something going on in the neighborhood. She was just at the wrong place at the wrong time.
You have, without question, forfeited your right to walk freely among us. You present a real danger to the public safety. You have shown absolutely no remorse here for what you've done. You seem to have no recognition at all of the lives that you put in danger.
Detectives said they've placed Britton at the scene of 5 crimes that same year when he allegedly threatened to kill a relative. 1
person was killed and 2 were injured in a head-on crash Saturday night in Grant County. It happened on Highway 151 at West Avenue near Cuba City. 32-year-old Justin Fox was driving a car south in the northbound lanes of Highway 151 when he hit a truck head-on. Deputies say Fox died in the crash and the 2 people in the truck suffered non-life-threatening injuries. All 3 people were wearing their seatbelts and the crash remains under investigation. Police are looking at possible connections between a burglary at an East Side Madison bar and a burglary at another bar earlier this month. Madison police officers were sent around 4 a.m. 4 o'clock Monday morning to Tip Top Tavern at 601 North Street for a report of a break-in. Video surveillance shows 2 men prying open doors and stealing safes containing cash. Rockhound Brewing Company experienced a similar burglary earlier this month. Both times the men used chairs to roll safes out of buildings. Officials are asking anyone with information about the burglaries to call Madison area Crime Stoppers.
Now we turn now to weather. Let's get a look at your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti out on the weather patio. Gary?
It was another mild day today. Temperatures were into the 40s, and it looks like, well, tomorrow will still be mild. We'll have some cloud cover, maybe even a few showers, and then temperatures will slowly start to drop back to around normal by the Christmas holiday. But right now, still not looking for any accumulating snow before Christmas. Visible cloud track, still a little bit of snow on the ground through southern Minnesota and central Wisconsin. Here in southern Wisconsin, the snow's pretty much all gone, and we had very little in the way of cloud cover today. But as we look at Doppler track, there's no snow around either to add to what's on the ground. Low temperatures this morning cooled into the upper teens from Madison on toward the north and east. To the southwest, temperatures stayed in the 20s. High temperatures today, again, well into the 40s. Madison topped out at 44, Milwaukee and La Crosse at 45. It was as warm as 50 in Boscobel. To the north and east, temperatures were still in the lower 40s. Current temperatures now are right around 40 here in Madison and in the upper 30s away from the city. By tomorrow morning, those temperatures will be down to just around freezing. The skies turn cloudy overnight. Look for a cloudy day tomorrow, maybe a couple of showers, especially west of Madison in the afternoon. High temperatures still mild at 42. That's your first alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. A man involved in an armed robbery at a Madison Culver's restaurant that led to a bystander's fatal heart attack has been sentenced. Xavier Fleming was sentenced Monday to 15 years in prison, 10 years extended supervision. Fleming and Nicholas Ivy pleaded guilty in August to causing the death of contractor Chris Knubel during an armed robbery at the Culver's near Todd Drive at the Beltline June of last year. Ivy was sentenced in November to 25 years in prison with 10 years extended supervision.
Middleton police are looking for the suspect who attempted to rob an Arby's last night. Officers responded at just after 7 to the Arby's on Murphy Drive. Police say the suspect was armed with a small handgun and jumped behind the counter of the restaurant, but did not get away with any money. Authorities say the suspect's hood was pulled tight over his face, making it difficult to identify him. Anyone with information is asked to call Middleton Police.
Community leaders in Janesville will have to move forward with projects without the support of UW-Whitewater Chancellor Beverly Copper.
Copper was a major advocate for uniting the school with Janesville. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joins us from our bureau at the Janesville Gazette with why at least one leader says Copper leaving won't be an issue. Adam?
Well, Eric and Susan, Copper was directly involved between the partnership of UW-Whitewater and the city of Janesville, most recently with the development of the Blackhawk Community Credit Union's new headquarters in Janesville, where there is going to be a satellite campus for UW-Whitewater. But I learned today that this partnership was not finalized. Rather, it was just still being discussed. And a $300,000 donation for that plan actually came from Quint Studer, a UW-Whitewater alumnus. And despite all this, BCCU CEO Sherry Stumpf says the plan is not in jeopardy.
I think you have to have a lot of faith in the fact that the revitalization of Janesville is in the hands of a lot of capable people. And Chancellor Copper did a great job of bringing that together for us, but there's no reason to believe that another person won't do a great job as well.
Copper announced she would be finished as the chancellor of UW-Whitewater at the end of the year just yesterday. And Stumpf says Blackhawk Community Credit Union is working to hire a director of strategic engagement for that headquarters plan who would be able to help flush out a lot of the logistical plans behind that, including what the partnership with UW-Whitewater would look like moving forward.
Adam Dexter from Janesville. Adam, thank you.
After finding mold in their basement, the Lodi Public Library is closed until further notice.
City staff were concerned about air quality, but they've been working to get the library back open as soon as possible. Our Jamie Perez spoke with the Director of Operations and joins us now with an update. Jamie?
That's right. So that mold actually stems from a construction project in their basement. They said when they were retiling their floors, they found water underneath the concrete, and some of those molecules were actually found in the air in the library itself. Now, as a precautionary measure, they decided to close the library until they could clear the air. They said when they did the air test, the fungi count was low, but there were areas that had higher concentrations than others. They took out 3 walls, but say nothing in the library itself was ruined from this.
Took some air readings upstairs, and there was like molecules in the air up there. which could have been coming from when they were taking the cement out to the outside. So we did it as a precautionary measure.
They're doing another air testing tomorrow and sending those samples in to make sure that they are clear to reopen. They said they should have an update by Thursday, and no one has reported any health issues during this entire process. Now, the library said they will extend anything that was placed on hold during this time, and they will cancel any fines for late fees once they are back open again. They're looking to hopefully be back open sometime next week.
All right, Jamie Perez reporting. Jamie, thank you.
Thanks.
Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign is still hundreds of thousands of dollars short of its goal. The campaign ends in just 6 days now. The Salvation Army says they're over $200,000 short of a $525,000 goal. To help reach that goal, Dane County Executive Joe Parisi and Dane County Sheriff Dave Mahoney volunteering to ring bells today to help raise money.
But there are hundreds of families across our county who are in need of Salvation Army services. And if every one of us can give just a little bit more, we'll make this holiday season better for everybody.
As of late last week, roughly 70% of the bell ringing shifts were still open. If you're interested in volunteering, register online at ringbellsdane.org.
The Greater Madison Convention and Visitors Bureau is giving the gift of warmth to local residents. Today, employees there delivered over 200 warm clothing items to the Beacon. The coats, sweaters, hats, mittens, and other items are part of the Big Bundle Up campaign organized by the Wisconsin Department of Tourism.
You know, we want to do our part and are thankful for the community members who donate items, doing their part to help people kind of in their day-to-day lives as they look to improve their lives.
They're still collecting items that can be dropped off until the end of the year at their office on East Mifflin Street.
A record 112 million of us will be traveling for the holidays starting this weekend. AAA says we're seeing the lowest gas prices now in about 18 months. In Madison, a gallon of regular down to about $2.18 a gallon. It was about $2.28 this time last year. That's just one driving force for people hitting the roads this holiday season. AAA also says a low unemployment rate and a stronger economy are leaving people with more money in their pockets this year. Air travel is expected to be the highest level in 15 years, but most of us will be traveling by car, and for really good reason, especially here in Wisconsin.
Gas prices are the big treat this holiday season. We're seeing the lowest prices not just of this year, but really in the last 18 months. And that's something that we expect is going to continue through this year-end holiday travel season.
AAA says it's still unclear what early next year will mean for gas prices with some recent changes made by OPEC. There's more to come on News 3 at 5. Up next, producer and director Penny Marshall has died. A look back at her life in front of and behind the camera.
And why the president's former national security advisor's sentencing is on hold.
And on Wall Street, the Dow gets back a little of its recent losses, adding 83 today. The NASDAQ bumps up 30, very little change with the S&P 500. We'll be right back. Veteran actress, producer, and director Penny Marshall has died. She was 75.
Marshall died of complications of diabetes yesterday at her home in the Hollywood Hills. The Bronx-born Marshall rose to fame in the 70s as one half of the duo Laverne and Shirley. She turned to directing after the series ended. In 1988, she directed Big, starring Tom Hanks. It was Hollywood's first female-directed film to gross more than $100 million. She hit another home run with A League of Their Own, starring Hanks, Gina Davis, and Madonna.
President Trump's former national security advisor went to court for sentencing, but the hearing took an unexpected turn. The federal judge delayed sentencing for Michael Flynn, who has pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI about his contacts with Russia. Before offering the postponement, Judge Emmett Sullivan lashed out, telling Flynn, quote, "I can't hide my disgust, my disdain. Arguably, you sold your country out." He warned that if he went ahead with sentencing, Flynn might not get full credit for his cooperation with investigators, which is still ongoing.
The FBI broke standard protocol in the way that they came in and ambushed General Flynn and in the way that they questioned him.
Flynn, one of 5 Trump aides who has entered a guilty plea in the special counsel probe. Just last week, the president's former attorney, Michael Cohen, was sentenced to 3 years in prison.
White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders signaled the president could now compromise to avoid a partial government shutdown. President Trump has been demanding $5 billion to fund his long-promised U.S.-Mexico border wall, but Democratic lawmakers have said they're not willing to go above $1.6 billion for increased border security.
Right now, what they offered, we have not accepted, and I don't know what the path might be.
I think a government shutdown is not a good option. That's my view. The American people don't like it.
If there is a partial government shutdown, 420,000 federal employees would have to work through the holidays without pay, and another 380,000 would be furloughed.
The Yemeni mother of a 2-year-old boy on life support at a California children's hospital will soon be on her way to the U.S. The State Department granted Suela Hassan a special visa to enter the country despite President Trump's travel ban. She is a Yemeni national who currently lives in Egypt. She became separated from her family 3 months ago when Ali, a U.S. citizen who lives in California, brought his son Abdullah, also a U.S. citizen, from Cairo for treatment for his fatal brain condition.
Anyone that come to the U.S., they're not going to come and just do anything bad, you know. They come over for family.
With her visa request approved, Suela will now be able to see her son in his final days.
Let's head out to the weather patio now. It was another mild December day. Hi, Gary.
Hi, temperatures well into the 40s for most of our viewing area, and will probably be at least into the lower 40s for tomorrow. Temperatures will start falling a little bit after that, but the average high temperatures in the upper 20s, and I don't see us getting really into the 20s for high temperatures until perhaps toward the weekend before New Year's. So another mild stretch of weather. And as far as accumulating snow, well, again, that doesn't look that promising. There's the snow that's on the ground, and that continues to diminish day by day. Right now, about anywhere from a trace to as much as a couple of inches of snow from southern Minnesota through the northwestern half of Wisconsin. But a lot of that is just, you know, a little snow here, a little snow there. Really, you have to get up to the UP of Michigan before you see any appreciable snow on the ground. The GFS computer model just in the stages of getting updated, but right now it's calling for just a couple of tenths of an inch of snow through early on Christmas Day morning. That's Christmas at 6 a.m. European computer model yesterday, that was showing about an inch of snow Christmas Eve night, and I said, well, we're not putting much faith in that because it's the first run that did that. Well, now you can see the better chances for snow farther out to the west because it looks like it'll be more if Tuesday, Christmas Day, if we get accumulating snow. So again, that just kind of doesn't bode well as far as the snow chances. As we take a look at GFS Future Track, and this is the computer model forecast for those who are traveling. In the short term, things pretty quiet around here. We'll see skies turn cloudy tonight. There'll be a chance for some rain showers tomorrow. Notice a little snow mixing in on the northern edge of that by early on Thursday morning through southern Wisconsin, but the bulk of the precipitation will stay to our south and east. Then look for quiet weather conditions. Friday, we're back to sunshine, which should be sunny for Saturday. A little weather system passing to our north could bring some snow mainly to northern Wisconsin. I don't have it in the forecast here. Some of the computer models have said, yeah, maybe some flurries, maybe not, but that should not bring any accumulating snow here. And then we're back to sunshine on Sunday and Christmas Eve Monday before the next weather system brings us a chance for some snow flurries Monday night, Christmas Eve night into Christmas Day morning. And you can see just how little snow that is. Big storm system farther out to the west could affect us toward the Wednesday through Friday time period of next week. That would have some implications for people traveling home after the Christmas holiday. Live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam in downtown Madison. It's a very pretty evening out here. A little breezy tonight, but not bad. 19 the overnight low temperature. That's still 4 degrees above average. High temperature of 44, a full 15 degrees above normal. And right now we're at 40 degrees with partly cloudy skies, winds out of the south at 13 miles per hour, dropping the wind chill at 33. Current temperatures are around 40 or a little bit above from central Wisconsin to the south and west. The rest of the state, temperatures mid to upper 30s. Weather track shows winds out of the west and southwest aloft, so that's going to continue to bring in mild Pacific air. The southern jet stream keeping most of the moisture to the south, so this next weather system coming through isn't going to have a lot of moisture associated with it. And as we take a look at the surface weather map and the temperatures right now, they're not very cold anywhere across the Midwest. And as we go through the next 48 hours, you'll see skies turning cloudy. Could see a shower mainly west of Madison tomorrow afternoon. A slight chance for a rain or snow shower tomorrow night into Thursday morning. And you see just how iffy those chances are. Again, the better chances of precipitation farther to our south and east, and then we'll clear out for Friday. So our forecast for tonight calls for partly cloudy skies this evening, turn mostly cloudy overnight. It'll be breezy and mild with a low of 32. 42 for the high tomorrow with breezy and mild conditions continuing. Maybe a couple of showers in the afternoon west of Madison. On future track, you can see the clouds moving in tonight. That'll keep low temperatures up to around freezing. Best chance of showers west of Madison tomorrow, highs in the lower 40s. Slight chance for a shower or maybe mixed with a few flakes of snow tomorrow night, but you can see how iffy those chances are. And on Thursday, a little colder, highs mid-30s, but again, just a slight chance for a rain or snow shower mainly in the morning. 7 to 10 day forecast, those temperatures remaining on the mild side, just not quite as mild. Highs mid-30s on Friday, low 30s for Saturday and Sunday, and near 30 on Christmas Eve Monday. Flurry chance Monday night into Christmas Day Tuesday, and then that storm system Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Some mixed precipitation changing to snow by Friday. First alert traffic, things right now on the Beltline pretty slow. That's the DOT camera at Park Street. Both directions, traffic moving pretty slowly through that area. Seeing delays on the eastbound Beltline beginning around Monona Drive going back to just west of Verona Road. Westbound on the Beltline, delays start around Fish Hatchery Road, heading back to near John Nolan Drive. Right now, a little more than a half hour on the eastbound Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate. 23 minutes going back in the westbound direction. Heading out of Madison down toward Janesville on I-3990, 27 minutes. 18 minutes to Sauk City on US 12 and 19 minutes out to Sun Prairie on US 151 and East Washington Avenue. That's your first alert traffic.
All right, Gary, thank you.
Ahead at 5, the Surgeon General declaring e-cigarette use an epidemic. We'll show you the alarming data after a short break. The government's top doctor issued an advisory this morning to alert parents, doctors, and health professionals about the dangers of e-cigarettes.
It comes as federal health officials try to combat the rapid rise in e-cigarette use among America's youth. Mola Lengi reports from Washington.
And cementing in the mind. Surgeon General Jerome Adams officially declared e-cigarettes an epidemic in the U.S. Tuesday. We must protect our nation's young people from a lifetime of nicotine addiction and associated problems. E-cigarette use has skyrocketed among America's youth. According to the latest federal data, the percentage of high school-aged children reporting e-cigarette use in the past 30 days rose 75% from last year. Vaping among middle school-aged children also increased nearly 50%. Currently, more than 3.6 million U.S. youth use e-cigarettes, including 1 in 5 high school students.
Students are bringing e-cigarettes to the schools, using in the school bathroom, and at times during class. How do we know that? Because they take selfies of themselves vaping in the classroom. The unprecedented rise in vaping comes at a time when traditional cigarette smoking, drinking, and other drug use has gone down among young people. But health experts stress less harm is not harmless. We know that nicotine exposure during adolescence can uniquely harm the developing adolescent brain, impacting learning, memory, and attention. Part of the problem, they say, is many e-cigarettes look like a USB flash drive, making them easy to conceal. They're calling on parents to learn more and have conversations with their children and on health professionals to screen for e-cigarette use. Mola Lengi, CBS News, Washington.
And stay with us. We'll have another check your forecast in just a moment. Finally, at 5, a woman's sweet gesture to her dad at a rock concert was caught on camera.
A woman used sign language to help her father enjoy a concert. It was caught on camera at a 3 Days Grace show in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. The woman used her hands to relay the lyrics of the band's hit song, Just Like You. And 3 days later, Grace shared the video on Twitter, commenting, "This is amazing."
It is very sweet. Let's go to Gary Canalti, who joins us. Final check of your forecast.
Temperatures are still pretty mild out there right now. We're at 40 degrees in Madison. Look for high temperatures to stay in the low 40s tomorrow. Maybe a little rain or snow early on Thursday. Quiet weather through Christmas, though. Some flurries Christmas Eve night, Christmas Day, and a big storm after that.
All right, we'll see you in 30 minutes for News 3 at 6. The CBS Evening News is next.